You're listening to The Cultured Bumpkin, a literature podcast with Jake Phillips, where we present audiobook quality readings of the classics for your enjoyment. Thank you for stopping by. And remember, just because you're a bumpkin doesn't mean you can't be cultured. Hello and welcome to The Cultured Bumpkin. On this episode, we're going to read from an epic poem by John Milton. Now, John Milton was an English poet. He lived from 1608 to 1674. So 1608 was when Shakespeare was at the height of his career. The King James Bible was being translated and would be published about 3 years later. This was the absolute apex, the pinnacle, the zenith of English. It's been all downhill from here. But this is a gorgeous poem. Now, it's blank verse. It doesn't rhyme. It has meter to it, but it doesn't have rhymes to it. He thought that was a little amateur, a little sophomoric, So he wrote it without rhymes. It is absolutely glorious. Now, I have read the whole first. There's 10 parts to it. It's a long poem. The first part is 47 minutes long. That's how long it took me to read it. It's on my sleep podcast, Ode to a Mockingbird, which is, has like sea ambiance behind it. Good for going to sleep. And then I also have it without anything, just audiobook style on my YouTube channel. So if you want to hear all 47 minutes, check out one of those places. Links are in the show notes. But I'm just going to give you a taste of this one. So again, Paradise Lost by John Milton. It's considered his masterpiece. He wrote a lot of pretty amazing stuff, but this is considered his masterpiece, and it really solidified his reputation as one of the greatest English poets of all time, of really any time probably. But I mean, it's such an influential poem, and it talks about the biblical story of the fall of Lucifer, the Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden, and then their expulsion from the Garden of Eden. So it's not the Bible, but if you're familiar with the book of Genesis, you will recognize some of the stuff. And even not just Genesis, other, like he mentions Canaanite deities and things like that. So there's just so much in it that's interesting and ties in with the Bible and other classic literature. It's a classic. Everyone should read it or at least be familiar with it. So let's read a little excerpt. Of man's first disobedience, and the fruit of that forbidden tree, whose mortal taste brought death into the world, and all our woe, with loss of Eden, till one greater man restore us, and regain the blissful seat, seeing heavenly muse that sat, that on the secret top of Oreb or of Sinai didst inspire that shepherd who first taught the chosen seed in the beginning how the heavens and earth rose out of chaos. Or if Zion hill delight thee more, and Siloa's brook that flowed fast by the oracle of God, I thence invoke thy aid to my adventurous song, that with no middle flight intends to soar above the Aeonian mount, while it pursues things unattempted yet in prose or rhyme. And chiefly thou, O Spirit, that dost prefer before all temples the upright heart and pure, instruct me, for thou knowest, thou from the first wast present, and with mighty wings outspread, dove-like, satst brooding on the vast abyss, and madest it pregnant. What in me is dark, illumine; what is low, raise and support, that to the height of this great argument I may assert the eternal providence and justify the ways of God to men. Wasn't that good? I really like this. And like I said, I've read the whole of book one, which is 47 minutes. So if you're into audiobooks, definitely check out the links in the show notes for audiobook style on my YouTube and the Ode to a Mockingbird sleep podcast. Also, you can hear it without ads on my Patreon. So there's three chances for you to hear the whole thing, or at least all of book 1, and I'll continue uploading them probably till I'm all finished. Anyway, thank you very much for listening, and I hope you have a fantastic day, or whatever remainder of the day that you are in contains. Just I hope you have a good rest. Hope you're well. You've been listening to The Cultured Bumpkin, a literature podcast with Jake Phillips. Thank you very much for listening. I really do appreciate it. If you enjoyed this, would you mind going and subscribing and leaving a nice review on whatever podcast platform you heard this on? I would really appreciate it. Thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you next time.